brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking host, the good old boys. Suds. It's time for more Suds.
Are you ready?
Who's she talking to?
Since you put it that way.
Kind of not ready now.
It's time. Welcome, everyone, to another Suds segment where good beer meets really bad radio.
And then 9 months later, out pops podcast.
Oh, you're so romantic.
Just procreation here.
It's all natural.
Never mind.
You know,
Never mind.
Yes,
it's nature.
It's all natural.
Watch if you want. Listen.
Probably.
Watch if the window's open. Right?
This is good old girl Julieanna, and with me today is good old boy Dave.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. Good old boy Caperton.
Hello.
Hello. And good old boy Tim.
Howdy to the podcast land.
This is a nice little intimate setting today. Today's episode, we're going to take a trip deep into the heart of Asheville, North Carolina, their brewing scene, and visit Biere Company. Hey, good old boy Dave, why don't you tell us about them?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at something.
Focus.
All right. Burial Beer Company. Burial, for some, is a necessary step to reach the afterlife. Well, that starts off kind of morbid. At Burial Beer Company, we see it as a celebration of life and people's stuff. No, they didn't write that out. And the cynical nature of harvest. Wait, that's probably cyclical. Is that cyclical?
It is cyclical.
It's cyclical.
Am I really the right person to read this?
I'm questioning that.
Okay.
I don't know who made that decision. Where's the magnifying?
Let's start again. Yes.
It's really only one.
It's really not so much a matter of not seeing it as not knowing letters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they're put in a specific order that determines the way they're
What
said
the
and
hell,
what they
dude?
mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called words.
We'll help you with that later.
We're just being really cyclical.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Okay, let's try this again.
So quick with those.
Take 2. Burial, for some, is a necessary step to reach the afterlife. At Burial Beer Company, we see it as a celebration of life, of the cyclical nature of harvest, and of the brewing process. We find glory in the things that once were.
Glory.
Our tap room is currently open Monday through Thursday. Wow. From 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay, I don't want to
Look at the website if you need to know when they're open.
If you're in Asheville, look for their local hours. This small
Eastern
industrial
Standard Time.
space was once solely home to Burial's one-barrel pilot system. That's 31 U.S. gallons. Where we crafted over 200 batches from June 2013 to November 2014. Nowadays, we brew a bit more beer. At Burial Tap Room, you will find our 10-barrel, that's 310 U.S. gallons, brew
For
house.
those that are keeping up.
Quick math.
First brew, 11/19/14. Is that a combination?
That was
that's
over
the date.
100 years
Okay.
ago.
Yes. 1914, they brewed this back in time. Oh, God.
It's a lot. It is a huge, in your defense.
I didn't know
it's a
they've been
huge
around
spiel.
that long.
Cranking out the favorites from 18 months of meticulous research and feedback. We invite our loyal beer drinkers to partake in experimental beer drinking. That means drinking beer through things other than your mouth.
So, I was trying to get a read on what experimental beer drinking is.
We opened our doors to our humble beginnings June 2013. Since then, we poured special releases almost every weekend and continue to experiment while tweaking and perfecting recipes. You know, if they did it while they were twerking, that would be...
The results would have been a lot better.
That is experimental beer drinking.
Yes. Our 40 Collier Avenue taproom will continue to house our 10-barrel brew house and our 1-barrel pilot system. That's 11 barrels together. It's the best of both worlds, allowing us to continue...
341 gallons.
Dude, that was good. That was really good. Allowing us to continue to kick out creative new pilot batches on a weekly basis. We also began to package 16-ounce cans of Skillet Donut Stout, Scythe. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Scythe rye.
Some folks call it a... Never mind. I calls it a Kaiser Blade.
Kaiser Blade.
Scythe Rye IPA, Shadow Clock. I almost left that L out.
Careful.
Pills, Hay Saw Saison, and Bolo Coconut Brown Ale in the beginning of 2015. Cans are sporadic, but are distributed to accounts in Charlotte, the Triad. Isn't that like the Chinese mafia?
It is.
And
They're
the
very
triangle.
prevalent there.
So there's a triad and a triangle. Okay, that's weird. Okay. Burial Beer Company has begun its second expansion to an additional location called Forestry Camp, where you cannot camp, by the way.
Apparently.
Are there any forests there?
Well, you know what? Everything could be a lie at this point.
Yeah.
And 20 barrel, that's, was that 620 gallons? Production
Correct.
Brewery, Urban Farm, which means they're...
Plus the 10, plus the 1.
Oh, geez.
They're approaching
I'm not even
1,000
trying
gallons.
it. Locally purveyed restaurant and 2-story tasting room in South Asheville. The new production brewery is slated to be operational early this fall, which that was last year, with the rest of the build out that could use like a dash or something, up and running in spring, summer 2017.
Yeah. Which I'm not sure if they're done. That was well done. Well done,
Thank
Dave.
you.
That
Thank
was a
you.
mouthful.
Thank you, newscaster. Good old boy Dave.
Yeah, there you go. Give it up.
Really, I need a beer now.
Yeah, that was a long spiel. It was funny that they used the word humble in there too. So
Yeah.
I just want to point out it's like 4 paragraphs, but
Yeah.
I'm like the humblest person I know.
Yes.
you are pretty humble.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
Yeah. Well, this Suds episode is sponsored by...
Cracker Barrel. Are you hungry? Go to Cracker Barrel. They've got you all fixed up there.
That was killer.
Why did Pennzoil drop us?
Because you're not going to go to Pennzoil
Did I
if
do
you're
that right?
hungry.
I'd rather get the perks from
that
them
right?
than
It was
Cracker
good.
Barrel.
Okay. All right. I think it's time to get to some tastings because we need some beer. Here are the beers that we're going to be tasting today. The Prayer, which is a Belgian blonde with apricots. Surf Wax IPA. Blade and Sheath American Farmhouse. Ceremonial Session IPA with Equinox hops, right? Tin Cup Camp Stout. Say that 10 times fast.
No camping.
No camping there.
Shadow Clock.
But a lot of mushrooms. Winnower Porter with cocoa nibs and raspberries.
Raspberries. That's how you...
I'm not raspy. I'm getting my voice back, actually. And saving the best for last, the Cicada Mortis Mixed Culture Saison. Wait till you hear about that one, kids.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, good old boy Caperton, why don't you read us the Suds ratings?
Oh, me. Okay. Well, we'll be discussing the ratings of these beers with the Suds ratings trademark. And little circle.
Patent pending.
Patent pending. Ratings plus our signature belching sounds. And get ready, because here they come now. A rating of 1, that sucks. Give me anything but a bud. Yep. Rating of... that's not a... we talked about this on the way over. That's not a burp.
It's,
that's belch at all.
It's a belch, but from the southern...
From the other mouth.
Hemisphere.
Yeah, okay.
Still a belch.
From
A
that
rating of
experimental-
2, slightly better.
Experimental belching.
Was that a belch? It was definitely a belch. A rating of 3. What a relief. Yeah. A rating of 4. A body should not make that sound. And last but not least, the rating of 5. Listen to that hang time. Give me another. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Excelente.
There you go.
Yay. All right, let's get on to the beer. I'm sorry. Dude, whoever wrote this crap, I don't say good deal. What the heck is that? It's like a 70s
Good
thing.
deal.
Good deal, gentle
Good
people.
dealio.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
Rad.
Awesome sauce. How about that?
Really?
Awesome sauce.
Let's hang 10, yo.
Do I look like the kind of girl that would say awesome sauce?
You just did.
More than good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently. Wow. Everybody's a critic.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody reading through the script before we get on there. That might
Yeah.
give us time to change stuff.
That would be a good deal.
Yeah.
There is an editorial process.
Clearly, there's an editorial process that I'm just not aware of. Like the person that was the newscaster today.
We're building it today.
We're building it today.
Yes.
And we're also burying it. So
Burying
it's
it
gonna be
in
done.
the ground to start something new.
Cyclical.
It's cyclical.
Yes. And shadow clock.
Careful. Thank God we're not rating that beer. That would
Yeah.
Doubt.
Yeah, I almost wish we needed it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We'll be back in just a minute after this brief interlude.
Rolling clouds and crashing surf, iridescent dunes reflecting by the light of a rising, glowing moon. Seashore mesmerizing, night breeze hypnotizing. We've come across these back roads none too soon. Look to the left, to the right. Keep your eyes on the road, my darling. Wondering if we're only passing through. Open roads and open windows. My hand is yours forever, sweet love.
Welcome back, everyone. Today's episode is a brewery takeover with Burial Brewing Company.
Beer company.
Beer company.
Beer
I
co.
always want to say
Beer
that.
co.
Beer co.
Anyways, let's get into the beer. Good old boy Dave, what beer do you want to talk about?
All of them. No. So I'm going to talk about Surf Wax IPA. Forget the cold and... You all right over there?
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. What's
going on?
I think she was having a
You
spasm.
missed something.
Forget the cold. Go grab your wax and coat that board.
There you go.
Sounds like a personal thing. Where we come from, the waves are best in the winter. So this isn't your SoCal treat. It's Northwestern Surfer's Delight. Simply made with Golden Promise and Crystal 120. This winter-styled IPA is packed with copious, that means lots, amounts of Nelson Sauvin and Columbus to provide a heady, danky bite. We then dry hopped with more than 2 pounds per barrel. So that's 2 pounds for every 31 gallons. And give it a more robust aroma. Get stoked. Surfs up.
Cowabunga.
Yeah. Cowabunga, dude.
Hang 10.
ABV is 6.8%. And apparently the color is bronze.
Bronze.
I I guess, is that bronze? I don't know.
I'm seeing gold.
Yeah, I think it's a little light to be bronze.
Well, I don't taste any wax, so I guess that's good.
Sex wax. That's
Is that a thing?
That's a thing. That's what
I hope it's a thing.
it's a brand of
It's a thing
surfboard
now.
wax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just wanted to say sex wax, guys.
Nice.
Yes. This episode brought to you by Sex Wax.
Keeping it
Multi-use
just
wax.
this side of acceptable.
Yes. Very good.
Sorry.
Which side?
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Dave.
No worries.
Keeping it in the shadow clock. In the shadows.
Okay. So, this is actually a really good IPA. It's potentially my favorite one in the flight. They're all really solid beers, but this one, it does have some of that danky, stanky, piney, resiny, waxy kind of feel to it.
Dude.
It's actually, for an IPA that's only a little over 6%, it's got a good mouth feel to it. Feels good in my mouth.
That's
You know
the
what I'm
wax.
saying? Yeah. So that's a sex wax in my mouth.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's waxing
All right.
up your sexy mouth. There you go. There's the episode title.
So
That's why they bring me here,
I
folks.
think I'm just gonna say I give it a Suds of 4 and move on.
There you go.
Good old boy Caperton, what'd you think of this beer?
Well, okay. These beers, like Dave said, are all great. This was not my favorite. I've had this beer previously, and it's, to me, I think it was a little lacking, and looking at the grain bill here might explain that a little bit. I would almost pick this as a session IPA, but I do think the hops really kind of bring it over the line. So that's, and maybe that's why, they're sort of, it's widely respected as a beer. I mean, I know a lot of people that love this beer. So yeah, and like it's super just what you would look for in an IPA: pine, resin, lots of citrusy peel, and a moderate body, like
me.
Dave's sexy visage.
Moderate body and a sexy mouth.
But again, like I say, other than the hops, there wasn't a whole lot going on there for me. But still a really good beer, and I'm going to give it a rating of 3.
Cool. Good old boy Tim, what'd you think of this beer?
Well, I'm a big fan of this beer as well. I think it's, I'm going to agree with one Dave and semi-agree with the other Dave. It's
Caperton. We differentiate that way.
He's not Dave here.
I'm Caperton.
Learn the rules.
I know the rules. So the thing I like about this beer is that I think the Golden Promise gives it a great body, and it does taste sessionable almost at 6.8%, just because I think it says IBUs of 80 plus, and
I don't get
I
that.
think they're lying.
Yeah.
They're lying. So maybe Columbus would tell your calculator that's what it is because it's so high alpha. But the good thing is it's sort of like they said, the Northwest, the kind of the old way of hopping a beer with Columbus and those sorts of things. They've gone out of style now, I think, but I still like it. I think it's great. And you smell that Columbus right on the nose. The word to use is dank. And when I worked at the homebrew store, whenever we would open a new giant bag of Columbus, someone would pop their head around the corner and go, "Who's holding?"
Nice.
Without fail. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That was also, yeah.
So what's your Suds rating on this dog?
Man, I thought this dog was good. I gave it a Suds rating of 4.
Julieanna.
I like this. It kind of, not that I've ever surfed on the West Coast or any coast for that matter, but I think it makes me want to surf. Like I just get that vibe that goes along with this beer. That it is light. It's a little like slick on the tongue after, well, digesting a lot of seawater over the years, inadvertently, you almost get like a little slickness from the salt. I know that sounds stupid,
That's
but
the oil spill.
yeah. Of course. What was I thinking?
It's the radiation
and it kind of,
as well.
but it kind of like tastes like that in a way, that slickness on the tongue afterwards. But super, super hoppy, otherwise really clean and easy drinking, very crushable. And I gave it a 4.
Nice.
Moving on. Good old boy Caperton.
Oh.
What beer did you want to talk about?
Put on his spectacles.
God, I have to put my glasses on. It's fallen to this. This is the Prayer, which is the Belgian blonde with apricots. And they state that it is a traditional Belgian blonde made with pills, raw wheat, acid malt, and candy sugar, but hopped with Racao hops and aged on apricots, which I'm assuming in stainless steel. I didn't get any barrel.
No.
You don't have any wood in your mouth?
But, man, let's see. It's a 6.2 ABV, and yeah, they don't give any information on the IBUs here. But, man, I loved this beer. I really did. I had not had this one previously from, I've had a few of these beers before. We don't get them here in our local area, the burial beers, but, we occasionally get the Stray from time to time. I felt like this just had what you would look for in a Belgian blonde, just a really nice yeasty, just a gorgeous yeasty character that everything else seemed to sort of play to sort of accent the yeastiness. The candy sugar seemed to really kind of amp it up. It wasn't overdone, sometimes I can pick out that sort of candy sugar flavor, and it kind of turns me off a little bit. But in this case, and the Racao hops, if I'm not mistaken, is a New Zealand hop, I think.
Yeah,
and it really, I mean, just a great beer. Everything seems to reinforce the yeast here, though, with a light, fruity apricot character sort of coming in at the end. And I loved it. I'm going to give this beer a 4.
Nice.
Good old boy Tim, what'd you think of this beer?
I like a lot of what Caperton said in terms of, it seems like the beer was built to like almost accentuate itself or accentuate the yeast flavors. And so I think they probably picked out the hops and the apricot with that in mind, because the main thing going through this is that Belgian yeast strain, and you just get a lot of fruit character and stone fruit, and there's not very much booze on there at all. It's only 6.2, but I don't like a big alcohol note in the Belgian beers, and this doesn't have it. It just has fruit, and then I'm not really sure exactly what the hop characters give, but I would imagine also kind of fruity, and then putting it on apricots. I don't know if I taste the yeast or the apricots or both, I guess, but it's delicious.
Yeah.
So I gave this a rating of 4.
This is so delicate. It's so pretty. It's a gorgeous color too. Like it's the color of apricots. But when I first read the description, I thought, what the hell are they doing? Like with acid malt and candy sugar and where are they going with this? And then I smelled it and then I tasted it and I was like, you know what? Right on. I mean, the balance on this really pleased me because, the apricots can be kind of tarty, at times, but the combination of that with the malt, with the acid malt, I was thinking it was going to be over the top, but it wasn't. And then the candy sugar, it's there, but it's not there. Like it just sweetens the apricot enough to really pull that flavor out and balance everything.
It's a great balance.
Yeah. I mean, this is stunning, and this is one of my favorites of the flight. Mm-hmm. And this is a solid 4.
Well, not to speak out of turn, but I've known a few Belgian blondes, and when you find one with nice apricots, it's a special thing.
Or the yeast driven.
Well, nothing will turn you off like a yeast infection. But I think this one,
A little acid malt will take care of that. Though.
Sure, drop the pH. Cleans things up a little bit, and that's a good thing. Good little
6 wax.
little candy sugar. That makes things good too. I think this beer, like Caperton said, everything kind of complements the yeast, and I think apricots, depending on how you use them, can be a pretty strong flavor. But it's all very balanced here. It's really
subtle
good
there, yeah.
And it's just the right amount. And I gave this beer a 4.
That was a solid 4 from all of us.
Yeah.
Aw, that's a love of 4.
That's
Agreed.
16 altogether.
We agreed.
That's more than half a barrel.
And for today's math lesson, numbers related to beer. Good old boy Tim, what beer did you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about the Blade and Sheath American Farmhouse Ale, which is a 6.4% alcohol by volume. It's a simple countryside saison with a light body, made with their Riverbend Malthouse rye malt and flaked oats, and then it's dry hopped with Calypso, Nelson, and Eldorado. And as you drink it, you will enjoy notes of tropical fruit and grape must. I liked this beer, but I didn't like it as much as the previous two. I don't really get many of the oats or the rye. I thought it was not thin, but, well, actually I did think it was thin. I thought it was just a very light body, especially for 6.4.
All right, make up your mind. Is it thin or not?
Well, yeah, it's thin. It's okay. I guess there's probably some Pilsner malt in here too. And mostly, I taste a lot of the hops, so you get a lot of the dry hop flavor from everything. I'm not sure about the grape must, but I can see some tropical fruits. And I gave this a rating of 3.
I hate to say it, but I was a little disappointed with this one too. I was looking for something kind of spicy when I saw that there was rye in the grist, but I didn't taste the rye at all. The oats, okay, so I get a little slickness on the tongue, sure. But it is a little light for me, and I don't, maybe this is just me, and I'm sorry, but I didn't appreciate the hop balance or lack of hop balance on this.
It's kind of strong.
It just seemed a little odd to me. Maybe it's just this can. Anyways, I gave this a 3.
Yeah, I don't think this is the strongest one out of the flight, but I think part of that can be because a lot of the other beers are really, really good. I think it's a good beer. It's probably not one that I would, if I was going to Burial, I don't think this is one that I would pick. Maybe on a flight just to try it, but it's not, if you had a choice of all their beers and stuff, I don't think this is one I'd go to. But it's a solid beer for the style, and I'd give it a 3.
Good old boy Caperton, what'd you think?
Well, I've had this beer probably more than any other Burial beer. I agree with you guys. I do like, as a saison, let me just say, as a saison lover, I'm going to come at it from that direction. So I'm partial to the style. I do like this beer, but it is, despite the presence of oats and rye, it's a little thin. They seem to get the carbonation right on it. It's got a great head retention, but not a ton of saison character. A little bit of spiciness from the yeast, maybe. Definitely not picking up on rye. The oats don't seem to be giving it a ton of body. It's a little thin, but this is a summer. These beers are traditionally drank in the summertime.
You probably don't want it too heavy in the mouth.
Right. So,
yeah.
But I think I think a lot of brewers would compensate with carbonation, that you would try to give a little bit of body from
Boost
the
it up
carb,
a little bit. Yeah.
which it seems like they've tried to do. And maybe it's just sat here for so long, but I do like this beer, but it does fall a little short, especially, when you're comparing it to several other beers. So I gave this beer 3.
Wow.
Good old gal Julieanna.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to talk about a very interesting beer. It's called Ceremonial Session IPA. This one happens to be brewed with Equinox hops. This is only 4% ABV, which I thought was interesting. It's a sessionable IPA brewed with flake barley, wheat, oats, and hopped up with exclusively rotating single hop. That was good English there. And they ask you to check the bottom of your can for details on which hop you are digging into.
I saw Tim checking the bottom of your can earlier, and
he's a bottom of the can checker.
I asked him politely to stop. So
he's
it was
thorough.
a good deal. Good deal.
He's very thorough.
I was looking for that candy sugar.
That is E to the Z who tweeted it disgusting.
So they use a wide variety of hops in this series. I really, really enjoyed this beer. For it being 4%, it didn't taste like 4% to me. The aroma on it was just very beautiful. There was floral and there was citrusy, and it's very clean. It's very easy, and I could drink this puppy all day. And I want to seek out some other flavors.
She likes a beer when she uses her jazz hands to describe it.
Yeah, radial hand. There's lots of jazz hands. This is a 4. Good old boy Dave, what'd you think?
Definitely sessionable. I could see sitting outside on the patio of their tap room and drinking a few of these on a hot day like today. I think that floral and citrus and what were the other words you already used that I can copy?
You're not copying it.
She
Smart.
called it a puppy.
Oh, it tastes like puppies.
Yeah.
And
sex wax.
I think there was sex wax on it, and
a little bit of unicorn thrown in.
Oh, I didn't get the unicorn, but I have a unicorn allergy, so maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
I give it a 4.
We'll be back in just a minute.
Destination, but baby, the whole elation riding down this lover's avenue. As slow as a willow blows, or as fast as the whirlwind grows, we glide beneath the stars in cobalt blue. Look to the left, to the right, keep your eyes on the road, my darling, wondering if we're only passing through. Open roads and open windows, my hand is yours forever, sweet love. Our eyes ahead on these back roads with a view.
Welcome back, everyone. We are in the middle of a brewery takeover with Biere Beer Company. And we are talking about the Ceremonial Session IPA. Good old boy Caperton, what'd you think of this beer?
Well, I agree with you guys. It's
you got the unicorn and the puppy?
Yeah, the puppy, the sex wax, a little bit of unicorn.
Yeah.
It's definitely sessionable.
Did you check out the bottom of the can?
I did, and that's part of maybe my problem is
you're not a fan of Equinox?
I'm not a huge fan. Not a huge fan, but as it warmed up a little bit, it seemed to sort of take on a little bit more
Candy
character.
sugar.
But it in the end, this beer sort of left me feeling a little like I wanted a little more and more of everything, which
I'm sorry, are you reaching for
which
this
unfortunately might be one of the hallmarks of session beers for me.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And that's my thing, maybe not your thing, but that said, I could definitely drink a lot of this, you know, if I wanted to. But it, you know, there's the Equinox is nice. There is a nice floral quality. It's a little bit of citrus there. I get a little bit of dankness from Equinox, you know.
Are you holding?
Yeah. Somebody is.
My grandma drank all my pot.
Yeah. Granny, give it up. So I gave this beer a 3. It's still
I think I want
infinitely drinkable.
I think I want Granny Give It Up to be a new song.
That could be the name of the episode too.
I think that would
Granny
not,
gives it up.
that would not go over well with some of the stations.
Yeah, maybe. Good old boy Tim, what'd you think of this beer?
Well, what did I like about the beer? I liked the Equinox. It's a hop I'm a fan of. It was a little spicy, kind of crisp flavor. And I also liked the overall hop presence, the bitterness in general of this beer. I think, you know, session IPAs, the body's so light, you need to dial back the bitterness. And I think they definitely did. I'm not sure if they bittered with Equinox. It says exclusively a rotating single hop, so it leads you to believe so, but I don't think it bitters very well. But
it's tricky.
Yeah, maybe they didn't add any bittering hops at all. Just did it late in the session. The other problem, though, is what didn't I like about this beer? And I thought that it was very light and watery. And kind of like the Farmhouse we had, I didn't get much of the flaked presence. You know, maybe it was slick or something, but it didn't add much body. And I realized it's only 4%, but it was just too watery for me, even for a session IPA. And then since we first drank it, you know, a session IPA you're going to be having outside. I think about having it on the river or something in a kayak, and as it sits in the sun, I don't think it does this beer many favors, unfortunately. So as a result, I gave it a 3.
Good old boy Dave, what's your next beer?
So the next beer is Winnower Porter and cocoa. Winnower Porter with cocoa nibs and raspberries. This 7% ABV beer is blended among a backbone. Oh, it's got backbone in it. God damn. Of well-known puppy backbones. No, it does not. Okay. I'm going to say there are no puppies in any of these beers. Blended among a backbone of well-kilned chocolate malts, our mild black porter rests upon 300 pounds of local French broad chocolate, cocoa nibs, and an immense amount of crushed raspberries. This beer is really dark, and the chocolate and raspberry comes out pretty well in it. It's pretty balanced. I gave it a 4.
Good old boy Caperton, what'd you think of this beer?
Well, when I first started drinking it, it didn't really grab me, but I kept sort of coming back to it. And
it's a warming up kind of beer.
It did when it was colder, I didn't get a lot of what I got eventually.
You feel the French broads are coming out more?
It's not, yeah. On the, it smells, what it reminds me of are those raspberry, those like, what's the sampler chocolates?
Russell Stover.
Whitman's or Russell Stover.
Ghirardelli.
The sort of, it's chocolate,
Ghirardelli.
Definitely a ton of roasty chocolate and raspberry on the nose. And that definitely follows over into the taste, I think. So yeah. I mean, this is just really nicely balanced. Like all these, they really, yeah. They have a knack for this.
And the word is yeah.
Yeah. Nicely balanced between the roasty chocolatey thing and the raspberry thing. So
she's giving you the finger.
So yeah, I don't know if that means speed up or slow down. But I gave this beer a 4.
Cool.
Her finger gestures can mean many things.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a girl. Good old boy Tim, what'd you think of this beer?
It's hard to keep up with between the French broads and the Belgian blondes and everything else, but
we're multicultural here.
That's true. I did enjoy this beer more as it warmed up like the others, but again, I go back. It's a little too thin for me. even warmed up. It says it has a backbone. I want more backbone.
Yeah, that's valid for sure.
In the beginning, it was all raspberry, and now it tastes like a raspberry chocolate Ghirardelli square.
Yeah, there it is.
And
that is what it tastes like.
That is okay, but it was, again, just a little too thin, and I gave it a 3.
This is a girl's drink. I'm admitting it.
Whoa.
But this is a girl's drink.
That's
yeah.
why Tim likes
Okay, that's why I like it.
Yeah.
I'm always a little...
You're the girls.
Well, I'm girly.
But sweet.
You're fancy.
Very, very sweet to me.
Fancy that.
It was, for those that are playing, it was a little thin for me, but I think for a lot of girls, they would really enjoy. This is a good beer to get into. And it's kind of sweet. It sort of reminds me of the Big Luscious from Founders.
Well, yeah.
And but good balance. And I gave this a 3. Good old boy Dave.
That's the real finger.
Good old boy Caperton, what beer would you like to discuss?
Are we there?
We're there.
Oh, we are there. Oh, we've arrived.
So
we're back.
We have arrived.
We're back. Okay. I'm going to talk a
it's all
little
cyclical.
bit about the 10-cup camp stout. The dust has settled from the evening's embers. This is the brewery now. This is not me.
Wow.
The dust has settled from an evening's embers. Morning is beckoned by a pink illumination peeking through the sky. Your tired eyes break through the smoky remnants of an experience not to be forgotten, and you seek an elixir to breathe new life into your weary soul. Reach for this modest chalice of invigorate.
Modest and humble.
And invigorate. I'm sorry. And invigorate the spirit to summon a new adventure. Made from seasonally selected counterculture coffee beans, a careful blend of barley, oats, and a touch of milk sugar. Our sessionable stout is just the ticket to cure what ails you.
Get it? Because it's an ale.
Yeah.
The rising light inspires the epic journey ahead, and your fuel resides within.
Thank you. I was
Nice
going to
pickup
skip.
there,
I was going to skip that, Tim, but Tim brought us all home. And now that we're there, this was a great beer, despite that somewhat hyperbolic. I shouldn't say that. I mean, these guys are working hard,
No,
and
they
I
are,
shouldn't.
yeah.
I shouldn't say
No.
that. But that was a mouthful. It's just because I
It's
had
like-
to read it.
It's like the Lagunitas description.
But this was a super enjoyable stout for me. I mean, just a little bit of, I guess technically this is a milk stout. Like before we started recording, I asked you guys if you thought,
Well, it was milkier before.
yeah. And but it was very light, not super sweet. Like that ultimately kind of turns me off
Yeah.
with some of these. And I think that's why you can't really drink more than like one, or at least for me.
Right,
It's
no.
just, there's just so much sweetness associated with those beers. But, coffee beers have been done to death. And I don't know how you differentiate yourself at this point from the pack with your coffee beer.
True.
But
Yeah.
the coffee really came through, and it smelled great. It tasted great. And yeah, I mean, it's at 5%. Come on. I could drink this stuff on a whole camping trip. So I get it. And I gave this beer a 4.
Good old boy Tim, what'd you think?
This is a great beer. It's very drinkable, and
It's too thin.
it isn't. Yeah, it's really not too thin like the other ones. It's thinned out a little as it warms up, but I think the little bit of lactose kind of saves it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it totally would be too thin. And for 5%, I mean, it has a nice body. You get the coffee right up front, and yeah, I don't know if there's a sessionable milk stout. Well, the other thing is, milk stouts also are called sweet stouts, and they can be too sweet, but no, this one fermented out great. I gave it a 4.
This is beautiful. Just enough mouthfeel for me. Coffee up front and the milk on the back, just like I'm drinking a good cup of Joe. with a little milk in it. And it makes me want to go to Counterculture now the next time that I'm in Asheville to see what their coffee is about.
Nice coffee presence.
Yeah, because this is
Definitely.
it's a very smooth coffee blend and very well balanced. And to me, this is like one of the better coffee stouts I've had in a long time. This is a good solid 4 for me.
Yeah, this this beer was good cold, but it's gotten kind of great as it warms up. Coffee in the front, and then a sweetness, not over sweet, but a nice sweetness, like a cup of coffee with a little bit of half and half. Right at the end. So I think it's really great, and I'm actually going to give this one a 5.
Attaboy.
Oh,
It's our first 5 of the show. I feel guilty for not. Yeah.
coffee in the front, party in the back.
Maybe it is closer to a 5. Okay, piece de resistance. Good old boy Tim.
No.
Last beer.
Not Tim the beer.
The last beer. Okay. The last beer we're looking at is Cicada Mortis Mixed Culture Saison. And it is a 6% beer, and it was brewed in collaboration with Kent Falls Brewing out of Kent, Connecticut, a brewery run by siblings. Perhaps sister. This beer was brewed...
That could be false. We
so
don't know.
hot.
Yeah.
That's rumor, but I don't know. Could be brother, sister, siblings.
Siamese
I think.
twins, maybe.
Siblings is the information we have.
Oh, you have to say conjoined now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone from Siam.
Where'd you get all this, Tim? I don't have any of this.
Yeah. I know some people. And it was brewed with, again, they got some grain from Riverbend, some malt from Riverbend, which is awesome, a local maltster down in Asheville. Got some Pilsner, some flaked barley, and also in there we have a little spelt.
How is that spelled?
The beer was bittered with and hopped with a whole hop German Hallertau.
With an E. It's spelled with an E.
It's true. SP.
I thought you were talking about the Hallertau.
With an E. With an E.
There's an E in the Hallertau as well.
Yeah.
It's in the middle. And then the beer was also brewed with locally grown crickets. I'm not sure where they were grown, but they were locally grown. And it was aged...
Sorry.
There it is.
Thing.
There it is.
It's the opposite of crickets.
Wow.
I was
Poor
prepping
guys.
for that the whole time.
This is not a vegan beer.
And right, so it was also aged in red and white wine barrels. So to get to the point, this beer was made with dead crickets. I mean, it's called Cicada Mortis. It's really
So if you like dead
strange.
bugs in your beer,
I mean, I know
This is
people
it.
eat them. Yeah. It's acidic, it's bright, it's kind of lemony. It's a nice straightforward mixed culture saison. I don't know where the crickets are, but to be honest, I don't know what I'm looking for. So I gave this beer a 4.
Julieanna.
This was cool. Granted, I don't really get much of the cricket aspect of it, but I really love the name and the logo. And let me just say for a second, Burial has some of the most badass logo.
Beautiful cans.
They're
Bottles.
They're
labels.
The pictures on it's stunning. Anyways, super crisp. Yeah, I got a lot of citrus on this, kind of lemon balmy almost. And this is a good palate cleanser kind of beer and very enjoyable. And I gave it a 4.
Good beer. Like the acidity. Love the cricket flavor. It's kind of nutty on the back end. That's what bugs taste like.
Makes
Tastes
you
like
want to rub
nuts.
your thighs together.
Ooh, with a Belgian blonde. Anyways.
A French broad.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Finger up. I'm going to give this beer a 4.
Good old boy Caperton. What'd you think of Cicada Mortis?
Well, I wrote down some of what Tim said. Exactly. I was like bright sourness. I mean,
Copycat.
it's right up front for me. And it's definitely lemon balm was a nice pickup for sure. So a nice lemony sourness, crickets, whatever, that's okay with me. I'm okay with crickets
down, yeah, why
dead
not?
in my beer. But, I did think there was a nice little Venus quality from the barrels as well. So I gave this beer a 4.
Was it Venus or Uranus?
Sex wax.
That's his word. Sex
Shadow
wax.
box.
Yeah.
Sex wax.
I
That'd
think
be a cool band.
Yeah.
that might
Ladies and
be.
gentlemen, Sex Wax.
Dead crickets.
Ooh.
Dead crickets.
Isn't that Buddy
That
Holly?
is a
Like
good-
a Buddy Holly
yeah.
tribute band?
Dead crickets and the sex wax.
Well, I think this was a great brewery takeover. I really like what Burial's doing, and guys, keep up the good work, and we're looking forward to some more great stuff from you in the future with your edition. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
If that's possible.
Well, it could be possible. You can catch all of our episodes online, as well as on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, PRX, and Spreaker, our native media host. iTunes, Google Play, and our own Android app are the easiest ways to enjoy the show on your phone. Just search for Sip Suds Smokes on iTunes or in the Google Play Store.
We love your feedback, and you can reach us online at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com.
Our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter every day at Sip Suds and Smokes, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news.
And please, por favor, take the time to rate this episode if you're listening online.
I want to thank all of our lovely hosts. Good old boy Dave.
Hey, thanks everyone. This was awesome.
Good old boy Caperton.
Had fun. See you guys next time.
Good old boy Tim.
I'd like to try a beer with live crickets, if anyone's willing.
We'll work on that. This is good old gal Julieanna. Keep on chuggling, guys. See you next time.
This has been a one-tan-hand production of Sip Suds and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see y'all next time.